You get to the end of the interview and the interviewer asks, "So, do you have any questions for me?" The worst thing you can do is say, no, I don't think so. Or maybe you say, "I think you've answered all of my questions during the interview, thank you." That is a wasted opportunity. So yes, you do have questions. You do. And you will by the end of this video. I'm going to suggest that you have at least 3 questions ready in case they actually answer one of them during the course of the interview. You don't want to have only one question going in and then have it answered and then be stuck at the end, because again, wasted opportunity. So I'm going to suggest that you have at least 3. The other thing is that you might actually come up with some questions of your own during the session, during the interview. And that is fantastic if you do, and wonderful, you can go with those. But just in case, you want to have some prepared. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you some best practices. I'm going to give you several examples of really great questions that you can use. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you my favorite question and a sweet bonus that you don't want to miss. My name is Jen Swanson, if I haven't met you yet, and let's jump into the 2 best practices that I want to share with you today. Write down the questions that you choose in advance that you want to ask in a notebook that you carry with you. And it's fine if questions come up during the interview. Write those down, that's fantastic, but have the ones that you've chosen in advance as well, so that at the end of the interview you can look in your notebook for a moment and decide right then and there what exactly it is that you want to ask. So choose them in advance, write them down, and then if things come naturally, fantastic. But you are prepared and ready for asking whatever you need to ask at the end of an interview. So that's the first best practice. The second thing is just that, practice. Practice saying the questions, asking the questions, practice the ones that you have chosen, and then be prepared to really listen, because you'll learn an awful lot from the answers, and the answers that the person or the people are giving you might actually spark more questions. So be prepared to really listen, and you can do that best if you've practiced the question and it just rolls off your tongue. So it's a matter of discernment, right? An interview on both sides. It's whether or not they want to hire you and whether or not you even want to work for this organization. So this is your moment to be in control. This is your moment to ask the questions, and you want to not miss this opportunity. Now, here are some questions that you can use, and I'm going to give you 6 questions right away. I'm actually going to give you 7, but the 7th one I'll save till the end. So 6 questions and examples, and I'm going to let you know why these are good questions. So the first question is, how would you describe the team or the company culture? Now you could choose if you want to say company or the team. You might have already figured out from the research that you've done what the overall company culture is, because a lot of companies are putting a description of their culture, etc., on their website. So you might want to get specific and niche it down a little bit into your team. What is my department or my team or whatever smaller unit of the organization that you will be working in? What is the culture of that place? And does it match what it says on the website? Because from the manager's perspective, it may be a little bit different. So it's a good question to ask. And you can decide if you want to ask about the company's culture or the department or the team that you'll be working on. The second question is one that is sometimes asked of the interviewee in an interview. Where do you see yourself in the next 3 years, for example? But you can turn this around at the end and say, where do you see this company in the next 3 years? You know, what do you see this company achieving, or this team or this department achieving in the next 3 years? And this question allows the interviewer to share some of the goals, some of the visions, some of the organization's aspirations into the future. You could learn about advancement and opportunities with the answer that comes from asking this question. Innovations, plans for growth. This question actually shows your long-term interest as well. So it's a twofold thing. It doesn't just show that you're interested in knowing what's happening with the company, it shows that you're interested in being part of that should you be chosen as the candidate. Third question is, who are your competitors and why are you better? This is a wonderful chance to hear about how the company positions itself among competitors in the same industry or the same field, and to learn what others in the industry might be doing if you don't already know. It also gives an idea about how proud, how competitive the organization is that you're applying to be part of. And it might also give you a little insight into some of the innovations, some of the strategies, what makes this organization stand out in its field, and it shows that you are interested in how and why the company stands out. What are the biggest challenges that this company or this team or this department is facing right now, and how are you handling these challenges? So this is a very common but still effective question, and it can help to get you thinking about solutions and ideas that you can maybe offer in your follow-up thank you letter. So it's a little bit self-serving in that you want to know what they're struggling with, and then think about, as you go away and are ready to write the thank you letter, thinking about ways that you might be able to help with those solutions or that struggle. So this shows that you're already thinking about how to help if you are offered the position, and it is a very forward-thinking question. So what are the biggest challenges this company or this department or this team is facing, and how are you handling those challenges at this time? Question number 5 is, how has the team or the company dealt with managing COVID-19 and all the precautions? Now, who knew this would ever be a question, but given that everything has changed over the past year and might not be resolved as of yet, but it's a really good and timely question to ask. And if you're watching this long after, it might be interesting to still ask how it was handled at the time, so that, God forbid, if another pandemic comes along, you will have some idea of what the protocols were and what the precautions were in looking after the employees. It's a really good question to ask about how the employer cares about the employees, how they are looking after the health and well-being of the people that are working for them, what the PPE requirements are, what the cleaning protocols are, how many numbers are allowed in the space at a time, etc., etc. So it's an excellent question to ask now, and I would think even into the future, even when the pandemic is over, because it will give you really good information about how a health emergency was handled. The other thing it might get you information about is whether or not the company is flexible and you're working from home, or do you have to be in the office all the time, or is there some wiggle room there if that is something you are interested in? Is there a way for you to work a few days a week in the office and a few days a week at home, if that is at all possible? So that question will open up a lot of information for you, and I think it's a really good question to ask, especially if you're watching this in 2021, but even after, if you aren't. Question number 6, I've actually got 3 questions in one here, and you can ask one or ask all of them. They're a little bit, one part of this set of questions is a little bit risky, but it's like the secret sauce of questions. So ask it if you dare, and I think it's a really good question to ask, and it does a lot of things. So here are the set of 3, the trifecta, as I call it. Have I answered all your questions? Is there anything you'd like me to elaborate on, or that I didn't answer to your satisfaction? This is where the vulnerability comes in. So you may have answered something, but you didn't answer it quite the way they wanted to, or as completely as they would have liked. And this is giving them the opportunity to ask it again and for you to give a more full answer. And then the third part is there anything that is making you hesitant about hiring me? Now, that's a tough one to ask. It shows vulnerability. It shows that you're able to receive feedback. It shows your openness to listen. And it can actually tell you right away whether or not you're in the running still, or whether they really are not interested in you. And then that might save you a whole lot of time waiting, so that you're not waiting around. So number 6 is kind of the question trifecta that can make or break an interview, and I think it's a really good one. If you've been getting value out of this, hit that like button and do consider subscribing to this channel so that you don't miss any more of my career tips and bits of advice for you when you're looking for a job or looking to advance your career or looking to just love the work that you do even more. All right, now let's get to that last question, my favorite question, and that sweet bonus that I promised you. Question number 7 is to ask the hiring manager what makes people stay here. And if you are feeling daring, you can even ask them, what makes you stay here in this company? This can lead to personal stories, lots of insight, especially if you are speaking with someone who's been there for quite some time. It can help you connect with the hiring manager or the team if it's a group of people interviewing you. And I love this question because it allows people to talk about what they love about this company, and some of the good things that may not have come out during the interview process, because when you're the one answering all the questions, you don't always get to hear what's great about this place or what other people love about this place or why they stay. And it can give you a really good feeling about the company because, again, remember, you are interviewing them as much as they are interviewing you. And I know people who have gotten to this point in an interview and decided they don't really want to come to this place and work in this place because they've picked up a vibe or they've learned some things or there's something going on that they just don't like. So this question can really help you to make that final decision as to whether or not this place is a fit for you. All right, the bonus. If those were not enough questions, or if there were questions there that you didn't really resonate with and you want more examples, I am giving you a free PDF download, if you go down into the description box, of 36 more excellent post-interview questions for you to choose from. So go to the description box, there is a link there. Pop in your email when it asks you for it. I promise I will not spam you. I'm really not that often sending emails to people. But you will receive in your inbox shortly thereafter a PDF download that you can print out for yourself and take with you. You can highlight the ones you want to use and practice saying them. 36 really good post-interview questions for you. So that is your sweet little bonus for staying till the end. So grab that list, and next I have a video for you on what else to do before your interview as a preparation, how to get ready for this interview. So check that video out and I will see you there.